spiritual leadership team and board of trustees at First Unity Spiritual Campus are committed to following the science in a consciousness of spirituality. Masks are now required at all services and events on campus. If you are unable to wear a mask at the in-person service, class, workshop, or event, you are asked to please join on live stream. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Here at First Unity Spiritual Campus, we are so excited that our Healing Arts Center is now open. You can schedule an appointment to get a chakra energy session with me. You can schedule an energy session with Heidi Korsch coming up on August 17th. You can schedule a chiropractic or acupuncture appointment with Dr. Debbie Roche. You can schedule a counseling session or energy sound cosmic healing session with Reverend Serena Himmer. And we have so many practitioners that just keep an eye out and keep watching on our app and on our website for all the offerings at the Healing Arts Center, because we are here for you, mind, body, and spirit. Happy Sunday. We are so happy to say welcome home here at First Unity Spiritual Campus. We are excited to have you with us. You were asked to wear a mask when you came in. Our ushers will be seating you front to back in the sanctuary, placing placeholders in between to allow for social distancing. When you leave service today, you will be asked to stand for the peace song and the unity prayer, and then the ushers will direct the leaving from back to front, much like when you're on an airplane and you're deplaning, one row at a time. We will leave the sanctuary one row at a time to allow for social distancing. Thank you so much for your cooperation. service is about to begin in a few minutes. So go ahead and silence those cell phones and get ready because we are so excited to be with you today.
Give yourself a standing ovation. Yeah. Give yourself a great big clap. Of anywhere you could be in the world right now, at any space, at any time, you have chosen to envelop yourself with people who believe in infinity and possibilities and energy and the presence and power of God. To me, in our lives, the best thing we can do is to apply ourselves to a spiritual community actively, which activates the elements within ourselves that we have yet to discover. Yes? And so we're coming together today. We are activating the divine presence. Hopefully and knowingly, we're going to forget some false truths we told ourselves during the week. We're going to let go of some DNA that we have bought into, the doing and never asking that we're just letting people tell is going to happen to us. Yes? And we're going to step into a place of remembering first and foremost that we are a child of the universe and that we are an original idea. We are an original idea. And I just applaud you and I respect all of you today for understanding that as leadership, we are literally doing the best we can do. And I want to thank you for honoring our board of trustees and understand and not calling us afraid and not name bashing and all that ridiculous third grade stuff. We did that in the third grade. Okay, we're grown-ups. Am I with you? You with me? We're grown-ups. So thank you for having compassion. It's different when you are representing a tribe than it is what you choose personally. Do you understand that? What you choose personally and what I choose personally sometimes may look very, very different than what we choose on the collective. Because regardless of what you believe about the times that we are living in right now, there is race consciousness. You may believe that you're going to be here and live to be 150 years old. However, if you drive on the opposite side of the freeway, you're putting yourself at risk. Are you with me? I've done it. You know what I mean? So thank you for your love. Give yourself a big hug. We value you. We appreciate you. We're putting in every effort so we may contain and still continue to meet. Yes? And thank you. Let us, if you're comfortable standing, if not, you don't want to stand, that's fine. Let us state together the great invocation. We are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. And thy divine wisdom now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. Thank you so much. When we say pure substance of love, what that means is that is an empty eraser board. This is your day. It's empty. What are you putting on it? In the pure substance of love, anything is possible, and we hold that awareness for you. So thank you for being here. If you haven't checked out our new website, please go to it. It's somewhat exciting. And we have lots of opportunities, and it will also guide you to get the phone app for Google or for Android. We also have a shopping cart, and we add things on it all the time. I know, Steve, I am not going with the teleprompter. I'm all over the place today. Woo-hoo. Could be that other cup of coffee. I don't know. So in all seriousness, we'd like to acknowledge those of you that are here for the first time today, and we honor you and we honor your presence. So just all we're going to ask you to do, just for the sake of the ushers and the lighting in the room, would you please stand if you are here for the first time today so we may acknowledge you. We want to thank you for being here. And you're getting a gift of a mandala. They're wonderful. They're made by Reverend Kimberley and her team. And so thank you, and please wear it and think of us, and we will think of you in our blessings for sure. And also there's a welcome card in the chairs if you are updating your information. We'd love to know what it is. Or also if you are new, we'd like your information as well. And so, if you're online with us, we want to greet you today too, and thank you for being here. And you can get a free gift online, and the information is there in your video viewing. So, Let us affirm together for our guest as well as for each other our statement of honoring. We honor you for your presence today. May this be your first step towards being home. May you find an awareness of healing, opening your heart, moving from a me to a we world, and become fully engaged in your life. We see you.
My name is Ryan, and I'm a student of ILLI, the Institute for Leadership and Lifelong Learning International. ILLI comes into my life, and I believe it'll come into yours as a great blessing and divine timing, as ILLI came into my life when I wanted to put my whole self in, to truly step up to that small voice within that is getting louder for me to step up as a leader in today's world. Whether you're looking for spiritual leadership or even ordination, ILLI is unlike any institute out there. It is self-paced, it's affordable, and it offers classes on empowerment, well-being, spirituality, public speaking, courses on stopping yourself, and new thought, spiritual heritage, and much, much more. You are going to be able to have all the tools you need to be able to assist in your conscious expansion and your leadership skills expanding like never before. Check out ILLI at illi.org and awaken to your soul's mission.
The love that He shows is unconditional. The power of our God is unbeatable. Great is the God we serve. Let's say it again. The greatness of the Lord is inconceivable. Love that He shows is unconditional. The power of our God. Greatly to be praised. You got your mask on, it's okay. God is great. Beware of that mask breath, though. And greatly to be praised. Here we go. The greatness of our
can go whoo, you can go wow, whoo. Yeah, aren't they amazing? It's absolutely, I mean, how can you not follow that and be just fine, right? Yeah, $5 in the back. I saw this posting that I had written along the way. Spiritually, though achieved through darkness, is the deep-rooted space we go to when we finally see the light for the necessity to be a contributor to more than ourselves. And I thought, well, that reflects my being bilingual, doesn't it? It's like I'm English and Southern. I thought surely there would have been an easier way for me to say that, because did all of you find yourself having to think about it? Exactly. So that's my point today, is that you, all of you individually, you have created a narrative about your life. You have created written words that say, this is how I am. This is how my dad was, so I'm going to be that way. I have difficulty finding a relationship. Do you know how non-convincing you are with 7.5 billion people on the planet? You understand what I'm saying? We have written language that we adapt to, and it is our narrative, and we state it over and over again. We can relocate in the U.S., we can go to another country, we can go 15 miles down the road, and people go, hi, I haven't met you before, and we go, well, now that we are meeting, I need to let you know this is my story. These are the written words according to Scripture. I have placed these on my heart, and they repeat, and they repeat, and they repeat. So the question is, when you look in the external of your life, are you clear with your messaging? Are you clear with your messaging? We would call it in sales an elevator speech, right? You have this much time. Who are you saying you are? So the universe responds. I was talking to someone earlier, because we get here real early so we can be all prepped for all of you beautiful people. And we're having a side conversation, and the guy is telling me, because I won't name him, I didn't ask for permission, but he's telling me, you ask God, you can't ask God what you want, because you're not always going to get what you want. You can't always ask God what you want, because you're not always going to get what you want, but you're going to get what you need. Anybody ever said that? Yeah. Right? So you're starting off, I said, would you mind if I give you a different way of saying that? Because he said it to me 3 times. You're not going to ask God what you want, because you're not going to get what you want. God isn't going to give you what you want, but you may get what you need. And I felt like, you know? And I said to him, what if you write a different narrative with that? What if you say, I pray to God, I declare to God, and I allow always divine right action to happen through me, to me, as me. Isn't that much more exciting? I mean, how are you defining your life? Is it easy to understand? Is it clear? Is it repetitive? Are you stating things that you no longer even believe in your life, and why? Because there's a mighty force at work, and we believe in infinity. So what is possible for us in that energetic field? Thank you for listening.
Sacred space. Yes, if you will, that you lift your hand, open your heart, and go into that space with us.
God knows my name.
speak to the spirit and say, you know me. You know my name. You know my heart's desire. You know what I have need of. You know my name. If no one else knows me, you know me. You know my name. And even when my life is raggedy, oh, how you still walk with me. And when my attitude is bad, oh, how you talk with me. When the wrong things are coming out of my mouth, you still, oh, how you tell me that I am your own. I am your own. God, you knew me from the foundation of the earth. You knew me before I was in my mother's womb. Yeah, yeah. So I trust you with my life. No fire can burn me. No battle can turn me. No mountain can stop me. You hold my hand. No fire can burn me. No battle can turn me. You hold my hand. I'm walking in your victory. 'Cause the power is within me. No giant, no giant, no giant. You hold my hand. You hold my hand. You walk alone. You hold my hand. You hold my Yes. Whew.
People think of prayer as being a first responder to an emergency. There's something that's a crisis or crucial, and now let's consider praying. Certainly nothing wrong with that. But prayer, can I get some up on my thing there, my little thing? Thank you. In that space, you know, prayer is like GPS. You don't put in your car on Tuesday the direction of where you want to go, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you don't tell your car anything. You just say, go wherever you want to go, right? Well, that's how prayer is. Prayer is you're giving a directive each and every day about your life. And you are declaring and you are stating, this is the day the Lord hath made, and this is the day the law is working, and I am awake, I am alert, I am energized, I am healthy, I am abundant, I am alive, I am cute. And I am a force in the universe. And I claim my esteem for my father, my mother is God the divine. And I lift up my chin and my knowing that all is well, you see. And so we have prayer requests here. They also go to Unity Village for 30 days of prayer. But in that space, we have healing for physical sickness. We have healing for emotional discord. We have healing requests for abundance and prosperity, and understanding that none of this belongs to us anyway. Okay, there's you can go on and on about the fence and your boundaries, but this all belongs to the universe. So what is it that you hold in your life of knowing and truth and well-being? I want you to put your hand on your heart right now. I want you to know that the universe knows your name. And in this consciousness, you have been sent here for a mighty call. And if you find yourself long-term uncomfortable, distressed, unhappy, more than likely you are not following the path of your life. We are not here to repeat our parents. We're here to honor them. Honor didn't say, be just like me. How boring. We are here to exceed beyond anything that we have witnessed in this life. And so I bless every cell and fiber of your being in its original idea. I bless every part of your being. I bless your narrative and everything you continue to speak out about your universe and your life. And I ask you to come from an open heart, from the power of love. May you be healed by your own understanding of who you are and by the energy that is written on your heart. It is already written. Say that with me. It is already written. It is already written. It's already there, just waiting on you to step forward. It is already written. Hallelujah. And so it is. Amen. Our women, adopt a pet. You know my name. You know my name. You know my name.
Let's seal that in the atmosphere with a hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, everybody. Hallelujah,
Yes, yes, yes. It's a beautiful thing to know that God knows us, even in our darkest moments, when our character is at its darkest. He still loves us. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness. You give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, God. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, God. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness. You give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great
sing. Great are you, God. Sing it again. And all the earth will shout. Our hearts will cry. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, God. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, God. It's your breath. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. It's your breath. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, God. Great are you,
Ooh, great are you, God. Yes. So first I want to say I am so grateful and so blessed to be part of this team. I'm so grateful for all that we are in this community. I'm so grateful to have Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes as my leader and my mentor. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive. And to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Those are the words and thoughts of Maya Angelou, my 6-foot-tall friend. You know, recently I had an opportunity to reflect on my life's mission, my calling. Someone asked me, if you could do anything in the world, would you be doing what you're doing right now? Let's all let that sit for just a moment. Would you, if you could do anything in the world, are you doing what you would be doing? I'm going to answer that question a little bit later. So have you reflected lately on your life's purpose, your life's mission? Sometimes we get caught up and we start living life on autopilot. We set that GPS, but we set it a week ago and we're still going on those same directions that aren't taking us where we want to go today. Without much focus and with much thought, we're just letting life happen to us. We're living life by default. Do you find yourself that way? What I say to you is live your life. Live your life fully. Live your life intentionally. And are you engaging in your life? Fully and completely immersed in love. Fully and completely immersed in joy. Completely immersed in happiness. For what God has put in your heart as your calling, as your purpose, you cannot do alone. What is for you and you alone. There is no doubt about that. Success will come and you will thrive When you co-create your life with God, you co-create with some passion, with some compassion, with some humor, and some style. In Proverbs 3:4, so you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. As you pave your path to success, your mission, your purpose, there will be many possibilities and quite possibly some challenges. As you stay strong in connection to Source, you will find a flow and an ease. It's also possible that you find yourself sometimes in an endless search, an endless loop of trying this and then trying that, and then in exasperation, giving up. In aggravation, beginning to doubt, why did I ever think I could do this in the first place? Have you been there? I think if we're being honest, we all have to admit that at some point in our life we have been there in that defeated place. So when we admit that we have been there, but we know the way forward, what is the way? Steve, if you can move on up there for me. What is the way forward when we find ourselves there in that defeated place? That place that we're stuck, that we're mired down like we're in the muck, and we can't get our feet out, we can't move, and we don't move for fear of failing, for fear of going the wrong way. If that's where you are, stop. It's time to stop. S-T-O-P. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Take a breath. Open your heart. Pivot and step. Pivot and step into a co-creation connected to Source. So that STOP is an acronym. Stop what you're doing. Take a breath. Open your heart. Pivot and step. You know, my first introduction to pivot and step was as a young Marine recruit at Parris Island, South Carolina. Pivot and step is not a stationary movement. About face, right face, left face, forward march. Those are movements you do from the stationary. A pivot and step is a movement you do on the march. So a pivot and step means there's something up there our platoon doesn't want to get into. We just don't want to be in that. So what are we going to do? We're going to pivot and step. And we're going to go the other way. Because that's what a pivot and step is. So if you find yourself in that place where there is a challenge that seems insurmountable, well, just pivot and step. Pivot and step. A pivot and step keeps the squad aligned one to each other. A pivot and step keeps the platoon aligned one squad to the other. A pivot and step can keep you aligned with God and aligned with your purpose, knowing that any challenge put in your way is not for you, so I'm just going to pivot and step and go the other way. And that's the path I was meant to go, as Reverend Aileen told us the other day. Sometimes the obstacle is the way forward. So don't focus on how big those obstacles are or how big the challenges are. Focus on how big your God is. How big is your God? Because my God is limitless. My God is powerful beyond measure. And you have God's favor. We are all blessed children of God. Having favor doesn't mean you won't ever have those challenges, but it means those challenges will not and cannot defeat you, because you are going to stop, take a breath, open your heart to that connection with God, and then you're going to pivot and step. You are going to pivot and step. God will favor you to fulfill your purpose. When you honor your purpose, strive forward, step boldly forward with that passion, with some compassion, with faith, with humor, and with style. Scripture says it's not luck, it's God's favor. From the fullness of His grace, we have all received one blessing after the other. And that's John 1:16. And it reminds me of a song our voices do beautifully. From the fullness of His grace. I love that song. You need to put it on sometime. Yeah. And favor, we are all immersed in favor when we just allow it. And favor brings healing. Angels work for and with all those who claim and declare favor. Declare favor. Declare it out loud. I am favored. Yes. Live your purpose. Yes. Live your purpose. And let God show out in your life, because God will show out if we just let Him. Yes. In the Bible, David spoke, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." And that was a whole song growing up in my papa's church and my Southern Baptist church. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. You know, the Bible's been translated so many times. One of the translations uses the word favor instead of goodness. Surely favor and mercy shall follow me. So, what about David? When he said that, so if that translation is the correct translation, he was declaring favor. Surely favor and mercy shall follow me. No wonder he was able to defeat a giant so great that he couldn't even imagine it. And yet, he pivoted and stepped and walked boldly out onto that field with just a slingshot in his hand. It was his purpose. It was his passion that failed that giant. When you know you are favored, and you know you are loved unconditionally, you have the courage, the strength to step out boldly and accomplish great and even greater things. Alone, you don't have the power. Alone, I don't have the power. Alone, none of us does. But when we accept and receive the favor of God, the one presence and the one power, we will have infinite opportunities, infinite possibilities. God's favor will bring those opportunities that you didn't even see coming. You couldn't even imagine them. Maybe it's going to be a loan that gets approved that you thought maybe was already, no, not going to happen. Maybe it's an unexpected promotion in your job. Or maybe it's that you just start getting good breaks all the way around everywhere you go. Start getting good breaks. So how do we gain that favor? How do we gain favor with God? It's ours for the taking. It's right there. If we honor our connection to God, accept with each breath that divine life force energy, that is love. That is unconditional love. We embrace it. Then live your life. Live your life on purpose. Live your life intentionally. Be an intentional spirit, like Reverend Dr. Temple's radio show says. Be an intentional spirit. Immerse yourself in God's favor, because God's favor will allow you to stand out, to stand up, to succeed. You will find doors opening for you just as if by magic. When you embrace and know you are favored, you claim it and proclaim it. You know you are a divine child of God. You will stand up, stand out. Influence, income, opportunity will come to you. All that you hardly dared to imagine will come true for you. There is greatness in you. There is greatness in you. When you come to that day that you know you are favored by God, know that. Live that. Your light shines so bright, people can't turn away. And look within, because that's where it is. That's where it's always been. There is no external source that's going to make you happy, that's going to make you successful, that's going to make you joyful. The source is right there inside you. God within you. The Christ consciousness within you. That's where it is. That's where it has always been. And you have to make room. You have to make room for what God has in store for you. Make room and God will guide you, show you where you're going. You know, visualization is a wonderful tool in our spiritual toolbox. We visualize what we want to create. Back when I was a young athlete training to be on the Olympic team in college, well, we American athletes, we weren't the top of the heap. It was the East Germans and the Russians, because they had state-sponsored technology. Their countries were doing experiments, creating new technology to help the athletes. So, man, I was like a sponge. I would get every article I could and read it. That was my first introduction to visualization. Because in 1979, training for the 1980 Olympics, I read a story about the East German women's swim team and how they did visualization and how the study had gone. They had put electrodes on the athletes, put them up on a treadmill and had them run. And then they took all that data, when the muscles were firing, when the brain was firing the muscles, telling the muscles to fire. Then they brought the same group of athletes and set them in recliners and said, now I want you to visualize that race. Not do it, just visualize it. In every detail, smell it, see it, be there. They visualized that with the electrodes hooked back up to them. And then when they studied the data, they could tell no difference between the actual doing and the visualization as far as the brain and the muscles. So you can think your way into shape. Yes, you can. You can think your way into shape. Just think it. And in that article, it ended with a quote, and this quote has been attributed to so many people, I don't know who to attribute it to, because they change one word and then they say it again, and then somebody else changes the word and says it again. But it was my mantra for so many years training. What the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. And when you're a high jumper and you're looking at that bar and it's taller than you are, you're thinking, it's all mental. It's all up here. Do you know you can run up there and fling your body up in the air and get over that bar? Do you know you can? Can you visualize it? Can you feel every bit of it? Because that's where it's at. So every track meet, I would go and find a sacred space on the campus, wherever it was. Usually it was the chapel, because most colleges have a chapel. And I would go, and nobody be in there. because college students ain't going to the chapel. But I would go in there because it was a quiet, sacred space. And when you walk into a sacred space, you can feel it. You can feel the vibration. You can feel the energy. And I would sit in there and I would visualize my day, each and every attempt. I would visualize and see it. And I was undefeated because I saw it before I even walked out there. I knew it. I knew who was going to win. And it wasn't about being cocky or being boastful. I walk out there and put my, high jumpers. We were the prima donna of the track and field world. We walk out there and put our little umbrella up. And then we get our stuff all ready. And then we sit under that umbrella till it's our turn to jump. And then we get up and stretch a little bit. And then we get up there and jump. And then we come right back and we get under our umbrella. And it takes all day. It takes all day. Yeah. And then usually, if you're the better one, the higher seed, you're going to go. They put the bar up and you're ready to jump, and everybody's jumping. You go, pass. Bar goes up a little bit. Pass. Oh, then all the other competitors go, what? Who is she? Because I was just a little known, hardly known girl from the mountains that nobody knew who I was. And I'm just sitting over there passing. Pass. And I was jumping against an Olympian who had won the bronze medal in the 76 Olympics. And she said, she started looking over at me because she was passing too. But she didn't think there was anybody there that was on her caliber. And I beat her that day because I visualized it. And then the next month in Track and Field News, which for those track addicts out there, runners, that's the Bible of the sport. And it said, unknown Kimberley Harrell beats Olympia. Yeah, unknown. I said, not for long, because I'm visualizing my way. So what the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. Know it, because it is that. Then be grateful. Be grateful. Be thankful. Because living in gratitude will raise you up to gracious living. When you live in gratitude, life will flow with ease and grace. You will be living in that passion and compassion and humor and style. Because God's idea of success is much different than our limited ideas. Just watch what God brings to you. Just immerse yourself in God's favor and let God show out in your life. Get ready for a new level of favor, a new raised vibration, and a new level of abundance, because it is yours and it's right there inside. You just have to know it. So in closing, I'll go back to that question I started out with. Someone asked me the other day, if you could do anything in the world, would you be doing what you're doing now? And my answer to that is yes. Absolutely, 10,000% yes. And now I am thriving here in this community with some passion, some compassion, maybe a little humor, and hopefully a little style. Thank you.
I was spiritually fed today, and I thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a blessing. It was her debut. We just didn't want to call attention to it, but excellent. Over the top. I don't know how well they knew you in track ultimately, but I know everybody knows who you are here. You are a powerhouse. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Speaking of spiritually fed, we never talk about a restaurant when they ask us to pay at the end. We never talk about a theater when we say, here's the price of the ticket. Often people talk about a church like, I can't believe they asked for money. But the other part of that is, how would we be open to provide the services for all of you if we didn't ask for money? And so we dress it up in all different ways, and it truly is the law of giving, right? It's an energy. And so my teacher always taught me, and I came from a very prosperous community. Lots of reserves, lots of extra. And you know what? I felt really good about that. Because I knew when I left and said the church doesn't have enough money, it meant most people weren't carrying their weight. Do you understand that? Because it's a collective thing. You can't get this teaching anywhere else. In my humble opinion. Well, my little bitty humble opinion. Anyway, we love the fact that you come, and we love that you believe in us, and we love that we do this together. And we appreciate, as my teacher said, that you give as it feels good and stop when it hurts. Are you with me? Yes. And so as our ushers are coming forward, now is the time for us to allow ourselves to an opportunity to give to this incredible community, this beacon of light, so that we may continue to thrive and be passionate and sometimes humorous and sometimes who we are. And let us affirm together our abundance statement. Our abundance prayer. The abundance of God is my infinite source. I now open my mind and my heart to give and receive. All God's good. All God's abundance. All God's abundance is my source. All things are possible, and so it is. I'm going to practice that next time.
Cut me down, but it's you who'll have to further fall. Ghost town and haunted love. Raise your voice, see snakes and stones may break my bones. Talking loud, not saying much.
awesome. They are so amazing, aren't they? Whoa, yeah. So, our yes is about to start back up. So let me bring up Reverend Serena Himmer, who is the director of our Youth Expressing Spirit program. Coordinator, director. Pivot and step.
Well, it's coming soon, September 5th, Sunday. We're having our children here upstairs, and I'm not going to beg for youth influencers today. I'm going to ask people to enroll children. You know, that's what we need. We need children too. We're here for them. And I was going to go through the 5 principles, but then as I was cleaning and sorting, we found these t-shirts, and I think they say it all.
Oh.
So this is what we're here to share with our children,
Yes.
so that they know that they are loved.
Yes.
And then they will do loving things.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes?
Yes.
So if you are someone who loves children, like I do, we do need youth influencers and other people who volunteer for other things. And I thank Steve and Carolyn and my friend Lily. I don't know what I would have done without you yesterday. Thank you so much. We got so much done. But I want to share a little bit based on what Reverend Kimberley shared. In a crossroads in my life 30 years ago, almost exactly, I started college. But before that, I had to sit down and I asked God. Well, actually, I said to God, you know, I've kind of messed things up for the first 20 years of my adult life. So what did you have in mind? And what I heard was, what makes your heart smile? And I said, children, and dance, and art, and nurturing. And that led me to my career as a mental health therapist with children and adults, and to this ministry. So maybe take a little time just to take a breath and ask yourself what makes your heart smile. And maybe it'll come up as children, and dance, and art, and nurturing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So visit with Reverend Serena and Reverend Carolyn out in the lobby. They have a table where you can talk to them more about the youth program and sign up. Our Spirit Expressing is going to be happening next month. I hope you're all excited. I am so excited. Participant sign up is today. Yay! In Longitude Hall. We have 14 small study groups. Isn't that fabulous? 14 groups. Some are in person, some are on Zoom, and some are hybrid, meaning there's going to be an in-person meeting and people may join via Zoom. And I am so excited to share with you a little personal note. Earlier this week, my son knew I was going to have a debut time today. So he sent me a little meme, a quote, and it was Abraham Hicks. He said, Mom, I found this and I thought it would help you. And I sent back and I said, and synergistically enough, son, our Spirit Expressing program is coming up and we are using the book, Esther Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. So now my sons, Jared and Heath, will be joining us via Zoom in one of our small study groups. So that is so awesome. So that now, put out the word to your friends and family who may not be here, who may be across the country. They can participate in our Spirit Expressing program via Zoom in the small groups, and then watch the Sunday message that will go along with that week's chapters on Sunday via live stream. Isn't that fabulous? And bring the family close in a spiritual context. So wonderful. Our Fostering Hope backpack campaign is going on. The barrel's getting halfway fuller of backpacks and school supplies, so make sure, and we also take monetary donations for that. If you don't want to go out and shop for school supplies, you can, and somebody else will go shop for you. You can have a personal shopper. We have a Women's Gratefulness Retreat coming up that is one of the kickoff events for Spirit Expressing. It's September 11th, so we hope to see all the women here. It's a retreat created by women for women. It's going to be amazing and fabulous, and you just really don't want to miss it. So get signed up for the Gratefulness Retreat on our website or on our app. And then on September 17th, right in the midst of Spirit Expressing, we have Life is a Drag Dinner Theater. It is going to be fabulous. So you want to get your tickets to that, because ads go out in the paper next week, so y'all need to get your tickets this week before they sell out next week when those ads go out in the paper. Yes. And today we have Spice Routes is serving a buffet in Lagatuda Hall. And we also have our Living Green Market, which is every third Sunday. It's outside under the purple tent. We have vendors out there for you. I believe there's a chicken food truck I saw, big bright yellow one. So go on out there and take a look at what all is here for the Living Green Market. And thank you so much.
I want to thank Garrett Crocroft for all he does. You know, often behind the wall there, we need to give all those folks a standing ovation. Go ahead. Yeah. Absolutely. A special request today is that while you remain standing, we're going to do the peace song, we're going to do the unity prayer. If you would just allow, as through the volunteers, to exit with some type of strategic planning. It's kind of counterintuitive for us to be practicing distancing and everybody gathered right there in the center. Do you agree? So if you would just work with us, it won't take hardly any longer, but you just won't be in a pile right there together. Okay? We just want you to be loved and vibrant and infinitely blessed with abundant health all for the rest of your lives. Okay? All right. This is where I'm at.
Peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God as Creator, family all are we. Our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For God is amazing. And all the time. God is amazing. God bless you, everyone.